Hi YouTube. We actually are on a date night out. I know, I can't believe it. I never get to leave the house. But I'm here with two very special people I'd like to introduce you to. There's Bobby Jo Valentine and Leonard. And they're both playing in a show tonight that we are lucky enough to get to go see called Hunks, which was put together by our
title.
It is. That's how we built it.
I did not realize that. Awesome.
So our good friend Mike, Accidental Bear, put this show together, and he's the one who's brought these two gentlemen here tonight. And how do you guys feel about being billed as Hunks?
It's a first, for sure.
It's an honor.
It's an honor.
It's an honor.
Yeah.
A first and an honor.
That's right. It's cool. Yeah.
It's cool. Okay, so
I just feel like there should be like a full-out poster that we should be able to sign later.
That's right. Yeah. It will not be shirtless in my case. No.
Right.
Unless, yeah.
So real briefly, where are each of you from? I know.
I'm from Petaluma, so about 40 minutes north of San Francisco.
And Steven?
I live in Chicago, so I've traveled. I literally just got here this morning. Yeah, this is my first time out playing in San Francisco, so.
So I know Mike searches far and wide for the acts that he puts on stage. How did you guys meet up with Mike, and how did he put this together?
I just released a music video for a song called Wanting It All, and it just happened to catch a little bit wind, and I think found its way to accidentalbear.com, and from there, he just, he introduced himself, and we just kind of talked from there, yeah.
I think Mike saw me live, actually, and just liked the live show and decided to want to see me some more, and so we stayed in touch. He's attended like all my CD release shows and stuff like that.
So, knowing Mike, have either one of you ended up in his bathtub yet?
I have not. Have you?
No, I haven't.
No. Well, he just got here.
Right.
Maybe later.
Right.
Maybe later.
I know Tom Goss has, because you just...
Oh, did he do a bathtub thing?
I
didn't know that.
Like a few weeks ago or something.
You do the hairball of the day. He has like a hairball of the day.
A hairball, like
where he'll feature particularly fuzzy people on his site, and so you got hairball.
I got hairball.
That's a new.
That's a new thing.
Term.
You got it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that sounds necessarily.
I'm sure there's a euphemism in there somewhere. And easy, but actually wouldn't be very difficult.
So, real briefly, we'll start with Bobby. How would you characterize your music? Because I know it's been billed as hopeful pop folk.
Yeah. I think it's hopeful songs with something to say. And I always try to write about something that it's always personal experience. I never write a song. I never write a song just to be catchy. I try to write it so that it's going to mean something to people. And so it has to first mean something to me. That's the most important part. So write based on personal experience. And I've been through some interesting things coming out of a conservative Christian culture and going through a lot of interesting pain and growth because of that. And so I write based on a lot of that, I think, coming out of that.
Steven?
I would say it's more of a folk acoustic rock. Essentially kind of the same thing, it comes from personal stories that, ultimately I don't think about the end product until it's complete, and then I, kind of arrange it from that point. But yeah, it comes from certain darker places, and then I try to have a commentary on a lot of things. I think there's just so much that we experience day to day that it's just tends to lend itself to an easy commentary.
Now, how does a life as an entertainer where you have to travel a lot, how does that impact your personal life? I mean, is there time for relationships and love? And
it impacts it.
There's no other answer.
There is a doubtless impact. I think that's the best way to say it.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
The answer is it does. But when I started, I don't know about you, but when I started out, I have a partner, and when I started out, I would tour for like 30 to 40 days, and it was just like, I was not supposed to know. so in the middle of one tour, he calls me, and he's just like, okay, you've been gone for 30 days, it's too long. So I actually canceled the 10 days left of I had 10 more concerts in the 10 days left, canceled all those concerts, and drove home, and we sat on the couch, and we're like, okay, how many days can I be gone? So you have to kind of you have to balance that,
Yeah.
And if you have a relationship you value, then you have to balance that. It's tricky.
Yeah, and I think there's a struggle even just personally, like trying to grapple with, you know, this is a lifestyle that, you know, is so natural for us that I think, you know, trying to then bring other people, even if it's friends or lovers or whatever, I think it's total gamble a lot of times, because there's a certain level of like, I can only give so much because I have to do this just because that's what nature's telling me to do, you know?
Yeah. Traveling is interesting too, because you'll go and you'll play somewhere that you like don't know anybody.
Sure.
You go play somewhere you don't know anybody, and you can have a great show, but then you go back to like your hotel, and you're just like, there you are, right. You know what I mean, in this place that you don't know about. You know, so I was in North Carolina. I played Asheville Pride last weekend. Just flew back on Monday actually, and so I went to North Carolina. And that was the situation. Like, we'd have awesome, high energy Pride, and then it would be like, you go back to the hotel room and you're all just hanging out. And you video call your partner, and you're like, talk to me.
I got 5 minutes. Let's go.
Look at these trees.
So, real quickly, now, your video, which I saw for Wanting It All, a very sensual video. It's got two men kissing, and there's really no mistaking the gay content in that video, and that really puts you out front as an LGBT artist. Is that something that, what's the word I'm looking for? Is that something that you put yourself out there when you're, you know, traveling and performing?
Well, I just did a podcast recently, and they, you know, said, oh, you use a he, or, you know, I'm trying to work around it. And to me, it's just, I try not to hide in my music, and you know, regardless of, you know, essentially that video was important to me because that was almost kind of what we were talking about earlier. There's a level of, you know, you have to go through those ups and downs to really understand who you are. And as a performer, I struggled with a lot of personal relationships because of that, because I didn't know essentially how much I could really give or even take at that point. And I think there is that, you know, and I wanted to be honest with that song, because that's essentially what it is that through the thick and thin. And I think even, you know, in a position that we're in politically, just wanting to be at this point that you just kind of have to keep just going through it and going through the motions. And to me, being honest and real in that sense is all part of the same thing.
Now, do you feel like that helps or hinders you as an artist, being that?
To me, I look at it more as a personal thing. Like, to me, it allows me to be a little bit more transparent. It allows me to kind of, you know, work through the motions of life as I started as a teenager writing music because it was therapeutic. I found that was my only outlet. And now I'm in a position that I've led myself in this path that the more I open myself up and be who I am, not only on camera or, you know, in my own bedroom or a hotel room or whatever, it should be the same person, and that's kind of my goal.
Okay, real quickly, Bobby Jo, your answer.
Two, being a gay artist, does it help or not? Do you find it? Okay, so yeah, for me,
artist, because a lot of people will pigeonhole you that way.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So for me, I will play prides and stuff like that and enjoy that stuff. But for me, I've always written from a universal concept only because I believe that I want it to be able to apply to as many people as possible. You know what I mean? And so it's much less a desire to, like, I'm very fearless about the fact that I have a partner and he's a man. You know what I mean? Like, that's wonderful. But at the same time, I think it comes out very universal for me. And it is tricky. I would say that it's a very complicated, it's not black and white, because we are playing a wonderful show tonight at a gay bar. And it's great, but I have fans that, although they might support me as a gay individual, they might support me for being who I am, they might not necessarily feel comfortable coming to a gay bar. When it gets late into the night, the shirts come off. You know, they might not be like comfortable being a part of that.
I didn't know shirts were coming off.
What shirts
I didn't come dressed for that.
Personally, I will probably keep mine up, but it just seems like that might happen a little bit sometimes. And so it is interesting, yeah, because you want to be yourself and you want to be honest with who you are, but you want to write songs that are like, hey, anybody can listen to this song and be like, this is for me, like, this isn't just for him and all the dudes out there that like dudes, you know what I mean? So,
but don't you feel like there's a certain level of, like, even if you write a song with a certain pronoun, that people can still relate to that? I think in this climate,
yeah, I think they're capable of it. I think they're totally capable of it, and I think that more and more as the years pass, it'll be a lot easier for people to do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I know you. Sorry to cut you off. But I know you guys have a lot of stuff to get to. So real quickly, what's in the future for both of you? I'll let you start this time.
I would say, you know, I'm in San Francisco now, and I would hope to come back and kind of do more West Coast gigs and just kind of just travel a little bit more and just kind of share my music a little bit more.
So any shows coming up in the future?
I'm playing San Francisco Fall Fest this weekend, but that's neither here nor there. But the March on Springfield in Illinois, we have, you know, we lost the vote in the House earlier this year for marriage equality, and you know, the session starts again the end of October, so I'm, you know, there with Sammy Grisafi, who is the world's #1 quarterback for female football, and then Steve Grant is going to be there. So we're really putting the pressure on Illinois to pass marriage equality sooner. So that's the biggest gig. So October 22nd.
Bobby, where are you going?
Oh, I stay quite busy. So I have about 15 to 20 shows a month, and they're all over the nation. So like later this October, actually tomorrow I fly to San Diego, Arizona, and then I'm in Texas in November, playing a bunch of shows in Austin and San Antonio and Houston. And yeah, just trying to, I had a bassist that just quit his day job. We had a tour last weekend, and it was an 8-concert, 5-day tour. And he was so inspired with the tour. It really went well. Plus, we have a cool chemistry together. He's a cool guy, and we both really feel the music. So he quit his day job, and he's going to be doing music with me full time now. So we're like pursuing what that means now, and it's really exciting. So that's happening. That's a big thing.
So, real briefly, I would like to know the name of your current albums.
Yes. His Fire, just released that last year, and then promoting Wanting It All music video that you had just mentioned earlier.
And that's available on iTunes, you can check it out. And Bobby Jo Valentine.
My 2 full lengths are A Place to Belong and Home, and they're both available on iTunes, Spotify, all that stuff.
So you guys can go check them out. I've had a few days to kind of get to know the music and then these guys as artists, and they both write music that's very easy for anybody to access, and it's very touching and emotional music, and I would definitely recommend you guys go check out their stuff. So we get to have a really great time, have a couple of drinks, and just relax and not be a house dad for a while. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Guys.
And I believe that our love found its way through the current as the